Coach again coming at you with another video. So this weekend, fight weekend, we got Errol Spence taking on Danny the Swift Garcia for the welterweight titles, WBC and IBF that Errol the Truth Spence is currently holding. Now, a lot of people already know. If you haven't, I'm gonna just brief you. Errol Spence is coming back to the ring after I think what a 14-month layoff. Most importantly, because of the fact that he was in a car accident, nearly fatal, but all praises be to the Most High that he survived it. And obviously, God had a reason for him to survive it, and that's why he's here today. And that's why he's going to take on Danny Garcia and defend his championship belts. But, a lot of people, some people within, mostly it's the New York fan base that like Danny Garcia, they're hyping him up thinking that he could pull out a victory because he's a great counterpuncher, that he can come out, he has a great technical skills that he can come out and beat Errol Spence. But the fact of the matter is this, all right, Errol Spence is pound for pound top 5 for a reason. He has a nickname, The Truth, for a reason. All right. My prediction, obviously, as you can see where I'm going with this, Errol Spence is going to win, hands down. Whether it's going to be by knockout or decision, I don't really know. I mean, from the weigh-in and everything, Errol Spence looks strong. He's brought back his strength and conditioning trainer. Forget the gentleman's name, but he brought him back into camp. And, oh yeah, there we go. Blu-ray. He's brought Blu-ray back into camp, his strength and conditioning coach. Where when they were working in tandem, Errol Spence was chopping them down. All right, he was dropping those dudes left and right. All right. So with that said, Errol Spence definitely has a lot to prove. You got to give him credit for this. This is no tune-up. Taking on Danny Garcia is not a tune-up fight. Danny Garcia is still a respectable fighter. Nothing to take away from him. He only has 2 losses to his record, and it's against top welterweights, Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. But with that said, even though Danny Garcia has a great resume, I mean, he's fought the likes of Lamont Peterson, Paulie Malignaggi, Robert Guerrero, Brandon Rios, Ivan Redcatch, Zab Judah, Eric Morales, Amir Khan, Lucas Matisse, I'm just reading it off right now. This is a great resume. Just looking at it on face value, that is a great resume to have with only 2 losses coming to some of the world's top welterweights, Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. But that's where I'm trying to make the point at. When it came to fighting the top dogs, Danny Garcia fell short. And Errol Spence is a top dog. Car accident or not, Errol Spence is going to beat Danny Garcia. When you look at just the physicals, you're looking at Errol Spence, who's standing close to 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Danny Garcia is 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. I want to bring it back to the Lamont Peterson fight, because Lamont Peterson is a fighter. Both fighters fought. Errol Spence, borderline, he deaded Lamont Peterson's stuff. It was done. He defeated him. Woefully. Just showed him that he is a step above him. And people, if you look at the Danny Garcia fight, Lamont Peterson fight, even Danny Garcia did not believe that he beat Lamont Peterson. And Lamont Peterson has the same physical attributes as the Errol Spence. Danny Garcia, I think, because of the politics of boxing and maybe some other stuff, if you look at the fight, a slow start from Lamont Peterson, you can kind of liken this fight to the Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. Now, in the earlier parts of the fight, Teofimo was clearly winning because Lomachenko just wasn't letting the hands go. But when you want to look around round 7 going forward, into the closing, Lomachenko was hands down the better fighter. And that's what it is with the Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia fight. And Danny Garcia really struggled against Lamont Peterson. And obviously he's going to struggle against Errol Spence. So with Errol Spence getting this victory, obviously I think at this time it's a great way to defend his title. Great way to get back in the groove of things. Hopefully he can land a Manny Pacquiao fight. We know Terrence Crawford, that's a name that's always been tossed out there. But Terrence Crawford's got to prove himself against some of the top welterweights. I mean, him being stuck over a top rank, he hasn't really had a chance to fight some of the top welterweights in the division, the top welterweights, out there in the world. So he's looking to take on a Manny Pacquiao. And I believe with Errol Spence already with the PBC, Manny Pacquiao already with the PBC, it's much more likely that they're going to toss Manny Pacquiao to Errol Spence next. Errol Spence then collecting the WBA, IBF, and WBC belt. I think at that point he has nothing to prove. He moves up to 154. I think he goes up to 154, and hopefully, if he were to beat Manny Pacquiao in fashion, do record numbers, I don't see why he doesn't just jump up to even 160 and try and hope to see if he can lure Canelo Alvarez for a mega fight there. I mean, both of them are 30 years old. I don't see why not. When you look at it in comparison to like somebody like a Floyd Mayweather, who I'm sure both of them are trying to pattern their careers after in terms of the business sense. Floyd Mayweather stepped into the money side, when he stopped being pretty boy and he started becoming money Mayweather, was around the age of 30 years old when he fought Oscar De La Hoya back in 2007. So this would be the right time if they both were to take it at 160. I think that would do numbers. It'd be a great mega fight. They could have that down there in Texas or in Vegas, wherever they want to have it at. And Canelo being a free agent that he is, he can go and fight in any network, ask for a huge payday. They're going to pay it because he is a cash cow in the sport. Him and Anthony Joshua, they're the cash cows in boxing. So back to the topic with the Danny Garcia, Errol Spence situation. I mean, Danny Garcia, like I said, has a great resume. I personally just don't see him defeating Errol Spence Jr. One, Errol Spence is a very strong fighter. He's a strong, big 147-pounder. His body shots are great. He's still a good technical fighter. Danny Garcia does not have the foot speed nor the hand speed to at least catch Errol Spence, or at least make Errol Spence have to respect him as much. When it comes to power, obviously, like I continuously say, that goes to Errol Spence. Now, stopping him. Now, Errol Spence didn't even stop Mikey Garcia. I mean, I don't know. He didn't even really stop Sean Porter, though he did knock down Sean Porter. And that's not really saying much because, a lot of people have knocked down Sean Porter. Adrian Broner has knocked down Sean Porter. So, in terms of stoppage, he hasn't had a stoppage since, 2 years ago when he fought Ocampo, back in Texas, and he got that body shot in the first round. So I don't necessarily see a stoppage coming, to Danny Garcia. It's likely, it could happen, but Danny Garcia seems like too smart of a fighter to allow that to happen. So if I'm putting up a prediction right now, I got Errol Spence by unanimous decision. I think he goes out there. He's going to play safe early, just trying to, figure out his rhythm, get in the groove of things. And I think in the later rounds, as he wears on to Danny Garcia starts to feel the power of Errol Spence. It's going to be all she wrote. And then, it's just going to be a very clear-cut victory for Errol Spence. And he will go on to probably take on Manny Pacquiao next. But I want to hear what y'all have to say. Like, comment, subscribe down below. I'm out.